It's Wednesday, April 6th, coming up live on The View. They're not missing a beat in Hot Topics. From Wendy's Last Dance to Mariah naked and pregnant, and why some people are blaming an 11-year-old girl for getting gang raped. Plus, Ashley Judd's telling you how she's making sure no child suffers like she did when she exposes her childhood hell of sexual abuse, drugs, lies, and neglect. Then, Jesse Ventura is telling you why he thinks the fix is in for election 2012, and Sarah Palin will be on the ballot. Plus, revealing the 63 documents the government doesn't want you to read. And Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Robbie Robertson's talking about making music history with the band, teaming up with Martin Scorsese to make movie magic, and performing his latest hit on our stage. All that, Hot Topics and more, coming up live on The View.
To The View, we want to start by congratulating the women of Texas A&M who won the NCAA championship last night. There's nothing as good looking as women running across the field, dunking that ball. I love it. I love it. If I was tall enough, I would try. But now, Elizabeth, special day, yes?
It is. It's Tim's birthday and Grace's birthday. So my husband and my daughter share their April 6th birthday today. So Grace is 6. Wow. I can't believe she's 6 today.
So Tim get his stuff going because you got Grace too?
Yeah, it's hard to kind of manage both, but I try. You know, you're used to that with you and Jeffrey.
Jeffrey's birthday is on my birthday.
Yeah, so you get both.
But when I get older, it doesn't matter. I want people to forget about my birthday.
Yeah,
so
Tim doesn't care. He's fine with the princess cake and all the stuff for her. And then
I'm just gonna say, watch what happens when someone does forget about your birthday. Because it's like, because I was like, yes, I'm not going to acknowledge any more birthdays. And then no gifts came. I was like, what the hell, man? I work all year to look good for my birthday. I want a present.
I believe in throwing parties for yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't you? People say that's tacky. I don't think so. When I was 35, 5 years ago, party and only invited people who were turning 35 that year.
Right.
And the invitation said, well, by the time Mozart was 35, he was already dead 7 years. To just show what accomplishments we had not made yet.
Okay.
So, and everybody came, and they had to bring a gift they either stole or made.
Right.
They could not buy a gift. That was.
See, no, you got to go to the store for me. Yeah. But I only want one thing for my birthday. I want scratch-offs. That's all I want.
Yeah, you love. Whoopi is so easy to buy for.
And lasagna made by the hands of Joy
lasagna.
But when you go, what do you get Whoopi, the woman who has scratch-offs?
Scratch-offs. Because everybody can get them.
Yes.
A buck? It means you were thinking of me. I like that.
That's right.
Speaking of thinking of, our audience warm-up comedian Tom Kelly finds himself in an odd situation now and then. But Tom, you said something made you it almost left you traumatized. What happened?
I was so traumatized by this. Yesterday, I'm walking home from the show, right? I'm coming down 74th Street behind a nanny and her kid.
Right.
And all of a sudden, the kid drops his pants down to his ankles and just starts peeing. Just right there on the street corner. And
it just made you so mad.
Why? Because the kid was just peeing. It was like the fountains from the Bellagio, just shooting right out there. And then the kid started turning around like he was watering the infield of Yankee Stadium. He was like...
How old was this kid? 12?
No, like 2 or 3, but there was...
And it traumatized you?
I think you wish you could do that, and you can't because you're not free.
How come when I'm drunk and I do it at 2 in the morning, I get a ticket, but this kid's doing it for free?
Exactly.
Oh, I know, for me, because I got Jeffrey, I think that's one of the advantages of having a boy. Because, but Tom, just to let you know, I don't let Jeffrey go in the street. I find a bush or some dirt. I try to be...
Where do you find a bush in New York City?
Because the thing is...
Don't even ask. I'm not going to go there, but it was so tempting.
I hear you in my
It would have been so nice if you had. Yeah, because some kids, and I will answer your question, kids don't have the maturity to go, you know what, I need to start finding a rest stop right now. They go, I gotta go. And if it's bushes or clothes, I'm going bushes every
There's
time.
a lot of pressure on these kids now to potty train, and they're trying their hardest, and sometimes they think they're gonna make it home, and all of a sudden...
You gotta potty for great.
You know what? Here's the deal breaker. Not in the pool. Not in the pool.
Everybody does it in the pool.
No, everybody doesn't.
You guys,
sorry. I don't think that's okay, though.
No, I'm not saying that's okay.
Not peeing in the pool, but
that's
peeing anywhere you want to.
That's not right, Whoopi.
Well, because look, I have to worry about people who don't pick up the dog poo. I got to worry about negotiating. Do I have to now worry that if I lean up against a bush, some little kid has peed all over it? I have enough to think about in New York City, man. I don't want to think about that. If your kid has to go to the bathroom and he's only 2. Then find someplace or get him a diaper.
The potty on the go is a good
Aren't they
solution,
still
too.
in diapers at 2?
No, you know what? It's
No, because they drive them to have to pee in the big toilet.
Yes.
Do you know how tough that is?
Yeah.
You're this big. The toilet hole is this big.
I know.
I wouldn't want to sit on it either. Because you're thinking, uh-oh.
Don't they have a tiny one for them?
One time we were...
And then they're traumatized. They fall right.
I was walking with Jeffrey one time, and he had to go so bad. And he's like, Mom, they start pulling on their little thing. And he's like, I got to go. So I pulled his pants off. There was like a little fledgling tree, and I had him go. But these older women came out of church, and they recognized me, and they went, is that Jeffrey? And he was sitting there. He went, Mommy, I can't pee no more.
He got stage fright.
I'm sorry. They were close enough to the church to see you. You were close enough to the church to see. I wouldn't be able to pee in front of a church either.
Honestly, I could pee at any minute now because after having 3 kids, I wish that I could just go anywhere on the street.
Well, see. Now listen, let's talk about this because this I think is very important. In an effort to fight childhood obesity, New York City Councilman is proposing a bill that would only allow toys to be put in McDonald's Happy Meals that contain certain health requirements, that meet certain health requirements.
What is that?
I like it. I think it's positive reinforcement. That totally taking the toy away, which was the discussion months back where they said take the toys out completely. I think if the kid has the option of seeing a toy and then getting a healthy meal, it's a choice.
But you didn't say that. You didn't say that when you were 6 and you had the toy from the Happy Meal. You weren't like, Mommy, no, I want broccoli in the Happy Meal toy. So what do you want to put it on your kid for?
What do they
consider a healthy meal? Is what I
think it's part of the discussion. You have a discussion with them. Look, we frequent
what's
two.
a
Go
Happy Meal at McDonald's?
A Happy
What's in
Meal?
it? Like a burger, fries.
No, a healthy meal, I mean.
A healthy meal. Sometimes they have the options, like you can get apple slices
Wait a minute.
instead
Isn't
of the
that
fries.
still the adults who are buying?
Yeah.
So the adults buy what they think the kid is going to have, or the thing that they want the kid to have, and then they don't get a toy either way. I'm sorry. I think kids should have some fun toys because pretty much life is kind of rough out here.
Childhood could be a nightmare.
I think it'd be a nightmare. Give me a damn toy with my hamburger.
But are you saying?
Give me a damn toy.
But are you saying what if it's with the healthy stuff? A toy with a salad?
Now you have me feeling bad. Fine, get the toy. 2 toys for the fries.
When you're going to McDonald's, oftentimes it's because you run out of time to either cook the food or this is what you can afford. And it's tough enough being a person without means in this world. Give me a damn toy for free with my kids' food. Just give me something.
Well, it's not free. Just know that the price is built in there, too. So you're paying for the toy.
It's not like they last long. The freaking head pops off in 3 hours.
No. I'm ashamed to tell you, but I still have some of my toys from various things. I'm not going to tell you what I got.
I collect all the Monopoly pieces.
Yes, I love the Monopoly pieces. I have everything but one.
Me too. Maybe we can trade.
We could trade.
Got all Monopoly, ain't won a thing yet.
There's a fine line between a collector and a hoarder. Just saying.
Hoarder. I'm a hoarder.
What did you say? What was that word?
No, you're a collector.
Oh, you had a dur at the end. I was worried, Hey, listen, we're going to go and come back because we have more hot topics. This is a tough story, and it's very complicated, so please bear with me. An 11-year-old Texas girl who says she was gang raped multiple times by 19 men aged 14 to 27 has some people in town blaming her, saying she wanted this to happen because she lied about her age, hung out with an older crowd, and dressed provocatively. Now, you know, it's a horrifying story.
Well, this is the kind of thing that always happened. It's such a retro idea to say that the girl was asking for it. She's 11 years old. Now, the New York Times is under the gun because they've been told to stop saying that the girl dressed provocatively, to sort of imply that she was asking for it. The New York Times has stopped printing stuff like that.
Well, they were printing quotes that said, quote, the case left many residents wondering if the allegation are proved. How could their young men have been drawn into such an act? So they print this, and then it leaves people to make their own assumptions. I mean, by no means would an 11-year-old girl ever be responsible for something like this. She's a girl.
And I take issue with the parents of these boys who say, you know, she was around here, she dressed this way, she asked for it. That means you had enough interaction with this little girl to know she was not 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? To say that she dressed this way.
It's outrageous.
And because let's forget about the fact, no matter what she dressed like, a gang rape is horrific.
But you know, the thing with the New York Times, though, is that they printed stuff like she, you know, she had makeup on and she tried to be.
They're quoting other people. Let's be really clear. They're quoting other folks.
That's right. But Salon Magazine, a woman in Salon Magazine is writing, who took the New York Times on. She wrote that the Times neglected to say she had teddy bears in her room, she had dolls,
the other side.
To show that the girl is a baby.
Well,
she's
and also,
a child.
let's think about the girl this way.
That's the discussion that's going on right now.
And she does have a point, but I also think, too, this is clearly a girl who has not been protected, right? So I think even though New York Times, whatever article is being written, there is a duty that if you know a child is not being protected, why not take a stance to protect her, not put out something that
I need to put something out there because the young lady, like many young people now, was going out, sneaking out of her house at night, going and hanging out with folks. And I have had this experience with both my granddaughter and my daughter when she was little. You know, you tell them, you instruct them, but kids think that they know better and that it's not going to happen to them. So they're sometimes not listening. And the parents, you know, said the father said he realized something was up, that she was sneaking out in November. He's also ill, as is the mother.
Wife is ill.
And they're getting death threats, these parents.
Back off don't back. You know, when you send out death threats, it just doesn't help.
And also,
it doesn't help.
These
back
people
off.
have suffered a lot. The child has suffered, the parents have suffered, and they're blaming them. It's like people can't stand the idea that they cannot control bad situations, and that's what that's what that's about.
You know, so we'll
a girl gets raped in Central Park, and they say, well, she was wearing shorts and she was jogging at 10 at night. Well,
blame the victim.
Blame the victim. She should have the right to jog whenever she damn pleases.
But where's the common sense? This is an 11-year-old girl.
One more point. When there were rapes going on in Israel, they had a curfew, and all the girls had to stay home. And Golda Meir said, tell the boys to stay home.
Right.
That's the way to deal with it.
You know, so we'll keep you abreast of what's going on here. You know, now we're going to lighten it up because we have to. Because Sherry, you know, she's very deep about her predictions on Dance with the Stars, honey. So we had, you know, she was all Wendy, and nobody's going. What happened, girl?
Anytime anybody said Wendy's about to go, I was like, Wendy's not going anywhere because Wendy's got a fan base. Wendy Williams, she's got a fan base. They're going to keep her because you know I'm always about if you got a fan base, it'll keep you on there.
What happened?
Wendy went home yesterday. We got a clip. Look at Wendy Williams and her exit speech.
This has been a wonderful opportunity for me. I want to thank the judges, and I want to thank you also, Tony, for teaching me how to dance, because you know I still can't. No, look. Because despite stereotypes, this is one black girl who can't even do the Running Man. and P.S., I got a chance to do this and this in front of millions of people.
Absolutely.
It's so funny because what I forgot was they not only take the fan votes, but they combine it with the lowest scores. Wow. And so Wendy had a 14 like 1 week. She had a 15. Wow. So she had, like she said, she can't do the Running Man.
Well, you know what? Wendy, you gave it the old college charge. Check this out. Mariah Carey is making headlines for a nude photo shoot for Life and Style, where she shows off her pregnant belly. Now, Demi Moore started this trend in the 90s now, and then Britney did it, and then Christina did it. I mean, I did it, nobody cared.
I love it.
Would you want to show off your baby belly?
Yeah, Jeffrey came early, but I lost weight way before I got pregnant because that was my goal. I wanted to be able to walk around with my belly out with the henna. He just came early. I didn't get to do it, but I think that is absolutely so beautiful and natural and just so pure. I love it.
It's such a moment in time.
So you would do it. Would you do it, Elizabeth?
I think I showed part of my belly. When I was pregnant, I felt very comfortable in my body.
So beautiful.
Yeah, you do. I mean, you feel like
you
you're
had a pimple. That's why you felt comfortable.
Exactly.
And she looked like she had a little zit on her stomach.
You should do it. I think everybody pregnant should do it. I think every pregnant woman should, if you feel comfortable.
You know what I always say? If for a man to see me naked, I have to be in his will. So many men read these magazines. No.
Well, I don't know what that meant, but I'm moving on. Remember when like last year, I told you about a website called Splash Life. I had met this young woman, Melissa Helbrecht, who had put together this whole thing for young people to sort of help navigate the world that they live in the way that they would understand. Well, let me tell you, man, it launched on Monday. It's amazing. I was so excited. It covers every area that impacts young people's lives, like the careers, education, health, politics, money, the planet. The thing that I love most about it is that they have a point counterpoint. And one of the things they're discussing is, nuclear energy. Should we have it? Should we not? And there's one side for and one side against. And you can join in the conversation. If you want to know what's the best place for me to try to go get a summer job, they'll guide you to the places that are the most helpful and safe. I mean, splashlife.com. I love them. You can check on our website. We have a link to them. I'm so proud of this thing. I could just, but I won't. But we're going to go because we're coming back and we're bringing Ashley Judd with us. So come back.
International mission to keep children of the world safe from harm. And it's no wonder why. She is heartbreakingly candid about her own childhood nightmares of sexual abuse, pain, and neglect in her memoir, All That Is Bitter and Sweet. Please welcome Ashley Judd.
Thank you.
You had a lot of stuff to say in your memoir. You talk about, very frankly, about a lot of the personal experiences in your life. You talked about growing up in a dysfunctional family, having a history of depression. You talked about sexual abuse in your childhood. And then you talked about stepping away from Hollywood in 2004. You had a life-changing experience in Cambodia. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. Well, as your hot topic has amply demonstrated, sexual assault is incredibly common in this country, and in fact, every 2 seconds, a girl or woman is sexually aggressed upon. And that's one of the reasons why I talk about it. I was no exception. And the shame and the keeping ourselves sick through secretiveness is something that we all, I think, need to have the courage to undo. And one of the things that I've learned through my recovery is that perpetrators are shameless, like those boys in Texas were absolutely shameless. And they're falsely empowered by media, by gender stereotyping. And what a perpetrator does is he puts his shame on the vulnerable child. And it's through recovery that we learn to give the shame back where it belongs. We put it back on the perpetrators. And I think that in our society, we actually have to put the shame back on the cultural institutions that are shaming girls and women, too. I mean, that was absolutely a violation of her bodily integrity and sexual autonomy. And there is no such thing as consent for a child. There is no, that's what the law says, and that's what international law says. There is no such thing as consent, no matter what comes out, what words may come out of a child's mouth.
When you say you're keeping yourself sick by being secretive, because many people, victims of sexual abuse, have psychogenic diseases. Not that it's psychosomatic, but it comes from the abuse.
Absolutely.
You become physically ill.
It goes into the very cells of the body. and it distorts the thinking. And I've even had a few people say to me, like, you know, what happened to you wasn't a big deal. And they are, I stand strong in my recovery today, and I'm autonomous with the God of my understanding. But when someone minimizes that, it's a re-abuse, it's a re-traumatization. And what the media is doing is raping this child all over again, which is also what happens in our courtrooms.
Can I ask you, because you're talking, we actually didn't get to that, but can you tell the audience what happened to you with the sexual abuse?
When you talked about the thing from 2004, I very much enjoyed my movie making, and there was a part of me, however, that was kind of sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I didn't know what was wrong with me because I looked very good on the outside and I'm accomplished and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I had the opportunity to start doing international public health work and to do human rights and social justice work. And I met an orphan named Ukshay Locke who allowed me to nurture her. And it changed my life because I realized I have so much love to give. And that's really all I do in this work, is I show up, I listen, I bring back to America, oh, my pretty earring, you know, the most powerful country in the world, stories of those who are really at this time not able to tell the story themselves. And in doing that, I reconnected with, that's Kamal and Nisam. I connected with the fact that, you know, things happened to me when I was a kid about which I had never spoken, you know, and there's this story that I tell in the book where after an older man had molested me, I put headphones on. No, my uncle had headphones on because I knew he couldn't hear me. I practiced saying it out loud because I didn't know what his reaction would be. And, you know, so many kids do that. And then when they do finally tell, it's minimized, it's denied. Oh, he didn't mean it. That's not what really happened. And then we shut down.
Did they not believe you?
I told a young couple with whom I had gone into town, and they did not believe me. They said, oh, that's not what he meant. He's a nice guy.
Did you ever talk it out with your mom?
No. And it actually didn't occur to me to tell her, and I'm not sure why.
You know, for anybody who doesn't know, which I think everybody does, you are the sister of Winona Judd, the mother of Naomi Judd, the dynamic country superstar duo. And in your book, you talk about...
They're actually on tomorrow,
They're coming on tomorrow. Yeah. Yes, they are coming on tomorrow.
I love that picture. My big sister.
You're a big sister. And you talk about in the book that you had this vagabond lifestyle that you lived after your parents had divorced. You also talk about in the book when you suffered from depression, a lot of it was due to your mom's lifestyle. Now...
And it wasn't just my mom's, you know, and that's... If I let myself, I can get a pretty robust resentment going because the family is so much more than just the three of us. You know, I happen to have a dad, didn't spring out of nowhere. And I've got a couple sets of grandparents, as far as I can tell. And the whole family system didn't work very well. You know, it wasn't just my mom or my dad. It was an alcoholic family system, and for various reasons, it just didn't work very well. And the kinds of things that happen in a family that doesn't work well happen to all of us. But by the grace of God today, it works a lot better.
Has your mom read the book? In the book, you said that you were happy to not be part of the Naomi Winona singing duo, the singing thing. You didn't feel left out at all, I take it.
No, I felt terribly left out.
Oh, you did?
But I rationalized it because kids are resilient and adaptive. I had fantastic survival strategies. And that's what's so interesting for those of us who, you know, are adult children of dysfunctional family system, because those survival strategies kept me very safe. And in some ways, I made a pretty contented world for myself.
What were they? What were your strategies?
Oh, what an imagination I had, for example. You know, the nose in a book. If I have my nose in a book, I can't really get into trouble. And, you know, the rationalization is also that nobody can hurt me. But at some point in my adulthood, those survival strategies stopped working.
Well, did they prevent you from healing? They prevent you from healing,
Didn't get to the cause.
Delay?
Yeah, we got to get down to those underlying causes and conditions.
Did your mom, has she read the book?
I gave everyone ample opportunity to review the whole text. My dad helped me a lot piece things together, and I know Mom has read some of it, and she's been so beautifully gracious and validating. And, you know, people growing up inside the same house can have a very different accounting of what it was like, because we all have our own experiences and perceptions.
I have to ask this question just before we go. Can you sing?
I really think I can.
Okay.
But it's not something toward which I'm inclined. And I think the other things that I do, I do pretty damn well.
You sure do, if that's not the truth. And thank you, Ashley. You are really making a difference in these kids' lives overseas and everywhere. Thank you. Members of our audience are going home with a copy of Ashley's new book. We'll be right back with Jesse Ventura. Yes.
To expose the lies he claims the government is hiding from the American people, and he says there's already plenty of shady business brewing with the next presidential election. Please welcome back the author of 63 documents the government doesn't want you to read, former Governor Jesse Ventura. Welcome back. Now, the book is interesting. I spent the weekend with it, and we want to get to some of that, but I want to get to some things you recently said. One being that if Republican Congressman Ron Paul runs, that you would be his running mate?
No, I said I would give it serious consideration.
Okay.
That still leaves me a way out if I want to continue living in the Baja.
Why do you want to be? Why would you even consider that?
Because I think he is the only true elected official at the federal level that puts the people of America first and not the political parties first.
So it's important that he's an independent, then?
Well, I guess, you know, I rethought that and thought, well, maybe if he ran as a Republican, it would cause trouble if he picked an independent like me to be VP, wouldn't it?
Has he expressed interest? He's coming here in a couple weeks. We might ask him.
Yeah, apparently he was on Alex Jones's radio show and said he found it very intriguing and that it wasn't out of the question.
But the two of you haven't talked yet about it.
No, not directly.
But you realize that he is not pro-choice, Ron Paul.
I understand that, and I am, but that's one thing I'll set aside because that's just one issue. And you have to look at the big picture of what he stands for. He wants to audit the Federal Reserve. So do I. You know, they're the people that make all the money in the world. So guess who really runs our government, people? It's those with the money that run it. So when you elect people, they don't really run the country. In this country now, the Federal Reserve runs our country.
He wants to get rid of Homeland Security, though. Just saying.
So do I.
You also said
I call Homeland Security the Gestapo.
And what would you put in its place?
Really? They're actually...
Well, I've run into trouble with them already myself. You know, I have a pending lawsuit against Homeland Security and the TSA. Well, I have metal in my body. So when I pass through the metal detector, I can go through naked. It's going to go off. So I'm now subjected to a sexual assault or the microwave. And if you're flying 3 to 4 times a week, you're not going to convince me that that microwave is safe. They have no proof.
So you'd say it's your choice to fly, right?
Well, certainly it's my choice to fly. But likewise, I would challenge and say, what my suit is over is the 4th Amendment to the Constitution, reasonable search and seizure. And I'm stating that it is not reasonable to believe Jesse Ventura is a threat. I've been a governor. I've been a mayor.
So you believe in profiling?
Wait a minute. I'm a 6-year naval veteran, and the Speaker of the House isn't subjected to it. I challenge. Is John Boehner any more patriotic than me?
His tan will set off alarms.
Service, so is mine.
That's a dangerous statement, though, because it does lead to profiling in a way, correct, right?
I just want to ask a question because there are a lot of things in that book and a lot to put into our minds. My question is, what do we do about it? With all this information that you have now presented us with, what do we do? Because, I don't know what to do.
We just talk.
First thing, let me state this. Did you know last year alone, the government classified 16 million documents top secret? We're not allowed to read them. And I challenge saying I'm allowed to read everything. You want to know why? I pay taxes. And my tax dollars are being spent on some pretty crazy stuff you're going to find out in this book. And we have every right to know what they're spending your tax dollars on because it's our money.
You know, you're speaking of these documents that are classified. Let's talk about some of these documents in your book. This is the one that really fascinated me. You claim that our military can take over the country at any time, that they have the capacity to set up relocation camps.
Yes.
So does that
I'm not claiming it. It's in the documents.
Okay.
I don't claim anything.
This is what you're saying there in the documents. Okay.
Yourself.
Are you saying that American citizens, that we could be in modern-day concentration camps?
Absolutely. My show, Conspiracy Theory, we did the one on Are We in a Police State? The government came down so hard, they pulled it after one airing. You can't see it now, excuse me, isn't that censorship? And it's because we found a bill from Homeland Security that says FEMA will create no less than 6 internment camps. For whom? Who do they plan on putting in there?
Aren't you then creating some sort of fear in terms of our military?
Before, though, in this country, you know, we've done that more than once in this country.
Sure.
Created internment camps.
I don't want it to happen again.
For when people we consider to be threats. The Japanese were one.
And it might be me now. I could be going in now because, you know, I question my government.
You do question the government.
Absolutely.
You know what's interesting is
the
that
government being shut down this week. That's really on the table this week. What do you think about that?
Tomorrow.
I really don't know. You know, maybe it'd be kind of nice to shut them down for a while.
I think it would be in a lot of people.
I don't think if you're on Social Security or you need a job or you're on food stamps, you're not going to like it very much.
Let's remember what you got out there.
Right.
You got a two-party dictatorship. Both of these parties are controlled by the corporations who pay their money.
That I believe.
And so, you know, there is no real choice. Notice Barack Obama ran on hope we can believe or change we can believe in. Where's the change?
And then reality struck.
Where is it?
So here's my question again, because you point out lots of information, lots of people agree. What do the American people do about it? Because that's what I want to know. Who do we call? Do we get up and protest? Do we pee on the lawn? What do we do?
It's as clear as the nose on your face, but you can't see the forest for the trees. What you do is simple. Stop voting for Democrats and Republicans. We have to break the two-party dictatorship, and we have the power to do it. Quit voting for them.
Well, they don't give you a viable third-party candidate.
Why do you have to be third party? Vote for anyone but them. Send the message.
I think we're
Send the message. If we're such lemmings, well, of course we are, because we're a bunch of lemmings. We're getting marched off the cliff, and nobody looks left or right.
Except
during the march.
Jesse's
well, I live in Mexico now. So, and by the way, I'll add, my wife and I think, are going to attempt to become Mexican citizens.
Wow.
And it isn't that I don't give up my U.S. citizenship. We want dual citizenship.
Okay. Well, we wish you well with that. Our thanks to Jesse Ventura. Hey, members of our studio audience are going home with a copy of 63 documents the government doesn't want you to read, but he does. We'll be right back.
History as part of the iconic group. The band went on to an enduring, successful solo career, uses his musical genius to give sound to director Martin Scorsese's visions. Please welcome Rock and Roll Hall of Famer and my friend, the fabulous Robbie Robertson. Hello, baby. Hi, baby. Here, sit. This man can still bring a hot flash on in me. It's just embarrassing. Listen, the group, the band, is considered to be one of the great American rock groups of the 60s and 70s, yet you grew up in Canada. You're half Jewish, Native American. How did you get into what is sort of thought of as uniquely Southern, you know, American roots music?
You know, when I was 16 years old, I got hired by Ronnie Hawkins and the Hawks, and I went from Canada, from Toronto, down to the Mississippi Delta.
Right.
And for me, it was like going to the holy land of rock and roll, you know, where music grew out of the ground. And that had such a heavy effect on me.
Right.
I mean, it made such a huge impression on me that it started seeping out in the songs that I wrote a few years later.
Wow.
And I had, you know, a fresh eye and a fresh ear for it. So.
And I want to tell people, because I want you to sing, I'm dying for folks to hear this new sound. Many people don't know that for the last 3 decades, you've done the music for some of Marty Scorsese's greatest films, Raging Bull, Shutter Island, The Departed. How did this happen?
Well, he's a great music person
Right.
himself, right?
Right.
And because we were really good friends and everything,
Yes,
we
you
would,
do it.
yeah, we would ask, we would collaborate on ideas, and
Wow.
it's just such a pleasure
Will
to
you
do it
sing
with
now
him.
for me?
I'd be happy
for
to sing
us,
for
I don't
you.
mean me.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to perform. He don't live here no more from the album How to Be Clairvoyant, Robbie Robertson.
Got a ticket on a main line. I was stranded on a fault line. I got wasted on a moonshine. Too far gone. I was walking in the sundown. I was heading for the breakdown. And you're sleeping on a cold ground. Too far gone. There was a cloud hanging over me. Something just reached out and grabbed a hold of me. Inside of the belly of the whale, outside they was beating on a door. Somebody going down tonight. I said, boys, you don't live here no more. You don't live here no more. I was riding on a night train. I was moving in the fast lane. And I was only trying to kill the pain. But too far gone. I was setting for the ring. Always looking for a street fight. I was higher than a lost kite. Too far gone. When you're waiting for the axe to drop. When you're so bad you could not stop. Inside of the belly of the whale, outside they was beating on the door. Somebody going down tonight. I said, boys, you don't live here no more. You don't live here no more. Inside of the belly of the whale, outside they was beating on the door. Somebody going down tonight. They said, boys, you don't live here no more. You don't live here no more.
Thank you, Robbie. The CD is in stores right now. Members of our audience take home a copy. Enjoy the view.